Marvel's VFX workers are finally unionizing. Welcome back to Nerdist News. I'm Dan Casey, and today we're talking about the most exciting new supergroup in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. No, not the Thunderbolts or the West Coast Avengers, rather the brand new union of on-set VFX workers at Marvel Studios.
Assemble.
And while they might not seem as exciting as Iron Man or Captain America at first blush, none of the MCU's entries would be possible without them. This is the latest development in what many are calling hot labor summer, as groups like screenwriters, actors, teamsters, hotel workers, and many more are using the power of organized labor to push back against exploitative business practices so they can ensure fair compensation and working conditions. The news broke on Monday via Vulture that a group consisting of more than 50 Marvel Studios employees that work as on-set visual effects professionals filed a petition for an election to be represented by the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, IATSE, with the National Labor Relations Board. This is a landmark development in the visual effects industry, which has been the subject of increased scrutiny over the past several years. Global demand for their services has led to reports of overworking, underpayment, and severe burnout. And unlike many other jobs in the entertainment industry, VFX workers are not represented by various unions, and as such they are not afforded the same job security or benefits like healthcare or paid overtime. As Vulture notes, this marks the first time a group of VFX workers are coming together to demand the same rights, wage protections, and professional watchdog oversight enjoyed by workers in almost every other segment of the entertainment industry. This initiative also comes at what feels like a bit of a crossroads for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The most prolific experiment in franchise filmmaking is starting to see diminishing returns at the box office, and they're experiencing a retraction in size after releasing too many projects too quickly across film and television over the last several years. In particular, fans have also taken to the internet to complain about a perceived decline in quality in their projects' visual effects. Shots from Thor: Love and Thunder, Secret Invasion, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania have all been memed to death online. And while it's easy to laugh at something in passing or out of context, the conditions that created these laughable shots are precisely why so many VFX professionals are pushing for unionization.
Whoa, guys, hey, relax. Take it easy, breathe. We'll figure this out together.
Because without the proper protections in place, they will continue to face insurmountable deadlines, drastic underpayment, and long hours of unpaid overtime. And this comes after a fractious period during which Marvel Studios found themselves at the center of multiple reports investigating allegations of grueling working conditions for VFX workers. Now, many in the VFX industry were hesitant to speak out on these issues or push for unionization given the relatively small size of their industry, the hyper-competitive landscape, and fears of being blacklisted by industry giants like Marvel. This initiative by Marvel Studios' on-set VFX production crew means that they will join many other below-the-line workers, like production designers, camera operators, hair and makeup artists, costume and wardrobe techs, script supervisors, and many, many more, and gaining critical protections afforded by the 170,000-member-strong labor union. In a statement, VFX organizer for IATSE Mark Patch said, "For almost half a century, workers in the visual effects industry have been denied the same protections and benefits their co-workers and crewmates have relied upon since the beginning of the Hollywood film industry. This is a historic first step for VFX workers coming together with a collective voice, demanding respect for the work we do." VFX coordinator Bella Huffman also explained why they feel the need to unionize. Turnaround times don't apply to us, protected hours don't apply to us, and pay equity doesn't apply to us. Visual effects must become a sustainable and safe department for everyone who suffered far too long, and for all newcomers who need to know they won't be exploited. Now, folks, it's important to note that this unionization effort is being undertaken only by Marvel Studios' on-set VFX workers. This is not a blanket initiative for the industry, and that means it does not affect the workers at the myriad VFX houses who work on Marvel's never-ending spate of shows and movies. As IATSE noted on Twitter, US labor law effectively requires organizing workplace by workplace. So that means that each individual vendor would need to decide to unionize separately, and then work with an organization like IATSE in order to do so. Now, one of the most common refrains I've seen online from commenters and people that pay Elon Musk $8 a month is that none of this matters because VFX workers are just going to be replaced by AI. Well, that is a timely concern given that Marvel prominently and controversially used AI-generated imagery in its opening sequence for Secret Invasion. And while that was hardly the only problem with Secret Invasion, it is one that has larger implications for the entertainment industry. The use of artificial intelligence is currently affecting many of the main labor unions working in Hollywood. Actors represented by the Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists are currently on strike. One of the main issues they're protesting is studios wanting to scan their likeness to create a digital double they can use however they please. As explained by SAG-AFTRA National Executive Director and Chief Negotiator Duncan Crabtree Ireland, the studios proposed that our background actors should be able to be scanned, get paid for one day's pay, and their company should own that scan, their image, their likeness, and to be able to use it for the rest of eternity in any project they want with no consent and no compensation. Likewise, artificial intelligence is also at the heart of the ongoing writers' strike. Members of the Writers Guild of America seek to negotiate with studios about the ways in which AI is utilized. The WGA's proposal to studios seeks to regulate the ways in which artificial intelligence is used on projects covered by their minimum basic agreement. Specifically, they want to prohibit studios from using AI to write scripts or rewrite literary material. They want to specify that AI-generated content cannot be used as source material, and to prevent studios from using projects covered by the MBA to train their AI models. Now, to give you a sense of how things are going, prior to the writers' strike, these studios, represented by the AMPTP, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, countered by simply offering annual meetings to discuss advancements in technology. Cool. And as these technologies continue to develop, the need for job security is greater than ever because you have studio execs out there looking to cut costs by implementing automation tools that they neither understand nor fully appreciate the human cost of. Now, with that said, for VFX workers, AI absolutely has utility. For example, Into the Spider-Verse used AI as a tool to help the film's many animators overcome technical hurdles, so things like their hand-drawn ink lines would better adhere to the 3D geometry of the animation. And this is a perfect example of artists using emergent technology to make something better together, rather than just relying on a machine to produce generative AI art that may have been trained on databases of artists who didn't provide consent or receive compensation. In the case of something like AI, many are concerned that it could lead to what would basically be the elimination of entry-level jobs, because this push towards automation could eliminate opportunities for younger generations and new voices to enter the industry. It would leave a knowledge gap as they are denied the chance to learn firsthand from working alongside industry veterans. Now, as Ayatsi explained, VFX workers that are a part of a union can use the power of collective bargaining to negotiate the ways in which AI is implemented in their workplace. Without a union, new technologies can be implemented by your employer without your consent. Of course, this does nothing to stop studios from simply outsourcing to VFX houses overseas that have no qualms about undercutting the competition or have the same labor protections. But considering the integral role that VFX plays not only in the MCU, but basically in every film and TV show out there from Stranger Things to Ted Lasso, hopefully this is the start of a sea change for an industry that's been overworked, overburdened, and underrepresented at the negotiating table for far too long. With that said, you might be wondering, what does all of this mean for the MCU? Well, if more VFX workers begin to unionize, that may mean certain projects take longer to produce. But ask yourself, would you rather have a movie or a TV show that's as good as it can possibly be, made by people paid a fair wage that aren't subject to adverse working conditions? Or do you want something that feels unfinished because it's made under unsustainable working conditions? That's a rhetorical question. Of course it's the first one! Anyway, folks, there you have it. That's everything you need to know about what's happening with the VFX workers at Marvel Studios. We'll keep you up to date on this and everything else happening in Marvel's multiverse and our reality over on Nerdist. But for now, tell us, what do you think of this news? What other industry should unionize next, and why is it video games? Let us know in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, make sure you stay tuned to Nerdist.com.